interesting tangent. Imagine a world where AI diagnoses diseases faster than any doctor, personalizes medical training, and even
But the same tech creating miracles can also weaponize lies. Hyper-realistic deepfakes, deadly misinformation, and even AI-generated child abuse material are flooding the internet. The line between real and fake is vanishing.
This technology is revolutionary.
Around! Regulate AI now!
Imagine a technology that can help doctors diagnose illness, streamline hospital operations, even teach medical students with personalized lessons. Now, imagine the exact same technology creating hyper-realistic fake images, fabricating entire news stories, or spreading dangerous misinformation just at an unprecedented scale, making it almost impossible to know what's real. That's the fascinating, sometimes unsettling, and incredibly complex reality we're diving into today. We've pulled together insights from a stack of recent studies, reports, expert analyses, all revealing the incredible promise and, well, the significant, sometimes alarming pitfalls of generative artificial intelligence. The AI behind systems like ChatGPT, this inherent dual-use nature, that's really what we're unpacking.
Exactly. Our mission here is to go beyond the headlines, really distill what this technology is capable of, both the good and the bad.
Yeah.
We want to help you understand what its rapid evolution means for your daily life. I mean, from how you get healthcare to how you consume information, and for society at large. We'll explore its impact across critical fields, then confront the really urgent challenges of its misuse, and finally look at how different groups are frankly scrambling to keep pace.
So, what does this all mean for us? Let's unpack this. Let's start with the revolutionary upside, because honestly, in many ways, AI is already proving to be a truly transformative force, particularly when we look at the medical field. What really stands out to you in the sources about its potential there?
What's truly fascinating is the sheer efficiency and immediate knowledge access these large language models, or LLMs, bring. Our sources highlight some pretty significant time savings, for example. One study showed a 70% reduction in administrative time for complex tasks like drafting discharge summaries.
70%? That's huge.
It is. And this isn't just about, cutting costs. It's a fundamental shift. That 70% reduction means healthcare professionals, who are often stretched incredibly thin, are suddenly freed up. They can spend more time directly on patient care, focusing on empathy, complex diagnoses, the human connection, stuff AI just can't replicate.
Right? And it's not just automating the paperwork, is it? We're seeing AI perform at a genuinely professional level on actual medical exams. How accurate are we really talking?
Absolutely. The data is quite compelling. ChatGPT has already shown impressive accuracy on standardized tests like the USMLE, that's a big medical licensing exam in the US, achieving around 60%.
60%? Okay.
And on PubMed QA, which is a dataset of biomedical research questions, it scored 78.2%. Now, this isn't perfect, obviously, but it points to its massive potential in medical education. Imagine a future where medical students have personalized AI tutors accessible 24/7, offering instant access to vast, up-to-the-minute medical knowledge, all tailored to their learning style. For regions with limited access to medical schools or experienced instructors, this could be a genuine game changer. Could really democratize access to critical learning resources.
So for you, the listener, maybe you're preparing for a high-stakes meeting or just trying to quickly get up to speed on a complex topic. Imagine having that kind of rapid, accurate access to an entire body of knowledge almost instantly. That's a powerful thought.
Yeah. And beyond education and admin, it's streamlining clinical workflows too. It supports triage processes, helps generate those discharge summaries we mentioned, and can even aid in improving the accuracy of differential diagnoses by rapidly sifting through symptoms and conditions. And looking ahead, it could be absolutely key in remote patient monitoring and chronic disease management. Think personalized health advice delivered through an app, maybe automated medication reminders, or even providing some level of emotional support that bridges the gap between clinical visits. It creates a more continuous loop of care. It could also speed up research significantly by quickly sifting through vast amounts of scientific literature to help generate hypotheses or even design clinical trials.
It sounds like it could truly be a powerful, almost tireless assistant, augmenting human expertise, not replacing it. But that word augmenting is really crucial here, isn't it? Because AI isn't some kind of silver bullet.
Precisely. While the potential is clear, it raises a very important question. What are the significant limitations? AI is emphatically not a replacement for human professionals. It lacks that essential clinical experience. It can't process visual data like medical images directly in the way a human clinician can. And critically, it lacks emotional intelligence, empathy, and that nuanced understanding of a patient's whole context.
And that lack of emotional intelligence, how significant is that limitation in a field as sensitive as healthcare? Can it really understand the human element, suffering or fear?
It's a profound limitation. A patient's well-being often depends not just on getting the right diagnosis, but on feeling heard, understood, cared for. AI simply doesn't have a lived experience. It doesn't possess the intuition or, frankly, the moral reasoning that human doctors develop over years. This also brings us squarely to the significant ethical, privacy, and regulatory challenges. Integrating AI into healthcare demands meticulous attention to data privacy, ensuring patient information is absolutely protected.
Right?
There's also the critical need for transparency and accountability in its decision-making. We need to understand how the AI arrives at a conclusion, especially when human lives are potentially at stake. And, the quality of evidence for AI's effectiveness in healthcare varies widely. It goes from robust trials in areas like education to much more preliminary studies in direct clinical practice. This means we need a very structured, very cautious approach to adopting it.
So it's a tool, an incredibly powerful one, but one that absolutely needs careful human oversight, ethical guardrails, and continuous development within a clear regulatory framework.
Got it. But what happens when that oversight isn't there, or when the tool itself is intentionally misused? That's where things get truly concerning, isn't it? Let's delve into the darker side, because the very same technology that offers these incredible benefits in healthcare can also be weaponized to spread misinformation and create highly deceptive content at scale.
Yes, stepping back for a moment, the core function of an LLM is essentially to predict the next word in a sentence. It learns this from truly vast amounts of text data. This proficiency in language generation means it can create content that seems incredibly coherent, contextually relevant, but is factually incorrect or just entirely made up. This is what some people call AI hallucination.
Hallucination, that's such an interesting term for it. Why do they call it that? Is it really like how a human might hallucinate? Well, it's a hotly debated term, actually. Some researchers really criticize it, arguing it or morphizes the AI, makes it sound less like a serious error, maybe softens the reality that it's basically a confident fabrication. Some prefer terms like bullshitting, frankly. But generally, it refers to instances where the AI generates plausible sounding, but completely made up information with absolute conviction. We've seen prominent examples like Microsoft's Bing AI and Google's Bard, making significant factual errors right in their public demos.
Yeah.
This isn't just a glitch. It seems to be an inherent challenge in how these models currently work.
So we're not talking about minor typos here. We're talking about systems generating entire false narratives, very convincing narratives, that could easily be mistaken for truth. What are some of the most striking examples the sources brought up?
Exactly, and the implications are profound. A disturbing study by NewsGuard found that ChatGPT generated detailed false narratives including full articles, essays, even TV scripts for 80 out of 100 previously identified misinformation narratives.
80 out of 100? Wow.
Yeah. Imagine the potential for bad actors to leverage this capability. They could produce propaganda or conspiracy theories on a massive scale tailored to specific audiences. And it's critical for you, the listener, to remember that even if an AI response includes some kind of disclaimer about accuracy, those can be easily stripped out by someone intending to spread false information. What you're left with looks like a legitimate AI-generated truth.
Talking about everything from, like, fabricated political endorsements to dangerous health claims. The sources mention specific instances, don't they?
Yes, unfortunately. The reports cite examples like a completely fabricated image of Taylor Swift supposedly endorsing Donald Trump, or an AI-generated deepfake video of Elon Musk endorsing some fake investment scheme designed purely to manipulate people. These aren't just one-off incidents. They're examples of a growing toolkit for deception. Even that deepfake of Ukrainian President Zelensky telling his people to surrender? Well, it was quickly recognized as fake because it clashed so fundamentally with his known stance. But the technology is getting better, rapidly advancing, making it harder and harder to distinguish real from fake.
And the sheer volume of this deceptive content is just staggering. We're talking about an explosion in deepfake videos globally. One report showed something like a 450% increase since 2019 alone. And what's truly alarming is that 98% of these deepfakes are non-consensual pornography, overwhelmingly targeting women.
And this leads us to perhaps the most disturbing and urgent aspect highlighted in our sources. The use of generative AI in creating online child sexual exploitation and abuse material, or CSAM.
This is obviously a deeply sensitive topic, and it's critical we address it carefully and factually, sticking to what the sources present. How exactly is generative AI enabling the creation of this kind of horrific content?
Indeed. The sources indicate that generative AI has enabled the creation of a wide range of CSAM content, particularly through what they call text-to-image processes. This means bad actors can use simple text prompts, just typing words, to generate or alter images depicting child sexual abuse. The key point here is that the photorealistic nature of this AI-generated CSAM has matured incredibly quickly. In many cases, it's now virtually indistinguishable from real CSAM, which presents enormous challenges for detection and intervention.
And the data shows a deeply worrying trend here regarding the volume, right?
Yes. All indicators point to a rapidly growing problem. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's NCMX Cyber Tipline reports saw a horrifying 210% increase in reports between 2019 and today.
210%?
Yeah. And other databases like the OECD AI Incidence Database and AAIC also show a stark uptick in AI-related child sexual abuse and deepfakes, specifically in 2023. It's a rapid escalation of a deeply troubling issue, directly facilitated by these AI capabilities.
So, the scale of this problem is increasing exponentially because of AI. Given this alarming surge, how are authorities and other organizations responding? What are the biggest challenges they face in just trying to keep pace?
This is where we truly see that we're way behind the curve. Law enforcement agencies are reporting a critical need for more effective tools and training to combat this AI-generated CSAM. They actually envision using AI-powered tools themselves, ironically.
Right. Fighting fire with fire.
Sort of. To help triage the overwhelming volume of images, or even identify which parts of an image might be real versus AI-generated. But these tools are still in very nascent stages. The challenge is immense because the technology for creation is advancing far, far faster than the technology for detection.
It sounds like the technology itself could be part of the solution, but it's a desperate race against time.
It really is. The sources emphasize that overcoming these monumental challenges requires a truly collaborative and coordinated effort. We're talking private companies developing these AI models, governments, law enforcement, and even caregivers, like you, the listener. Everyone has a crucial and interconnected role to play.
It definitely feels like governments are playing catch-up here. Is existing legislation even adequate, given how fast AI is developing and being misused?
That's precisely the challenge with emerging technologies, isn't it? Most early AI legislation around the world has understandably focused on economic impacts or labor markets. Protecting vulnerable populations from AI misuse hasn't historically been a primary legislative priority. Currently, only about 18% of countries worldwide have specific AI-generated CSAM legislation in place or are actively in the process of passing it. This legislative gap leaves significant vulnerabilities.
And what about the tech platforms themselves? And then thinking about caregivers, what can you actually do?
Well, for platforms, policies like Section 230 in the US, which shields them from liability for content posted by users, can potentially reduce their incentive to aggressively monitor and remove harmful AI-generated content. That's a structural issue. However, on a more positive note, many companies are now proactively signing on to safety by design principles. They're committing to integrating safety measures into AI development from the ground up, rather than treating it as an afterthought. That's a promising shift.
Okay, that's good.
For caregivers, though, the sources reveal a significant awareness gap. While most understand general online dangers, a precise understanding of AI-generated CSAM just isn't mainstream yet. There's a profound need for education and training. Shockingly, only 16% of surveyed caregivers had received any online safety training at all, and virtually none specific to AI or deepfakes.
16%. Wow. And beyond the content itself, there are also these other threats, like prompt injection attacks. Can you unpack what those are and why they're such a significant security risk for people to be aware of?
Yeah, this is a fascinating and pretty insidious threat. A prompt injection attack is essentially where a bad actor tricks an AI system into doing something it wasn't designed for. They do this by subtly disguising malicious commands within what looks like normal user input, like natural language.
Okay, so how would that work?
Imagine an AI virtual assistant that handles your emails. A prompt injection could trick it into forwarding private documents to someone unauthorized, or maybe deleting crucial data just by embedding a hidden command within a seemingly innocuous email. It's processing. It's considered a major security risk because it's incredibly difficult for the AI and even for developers to distinguish these malicious instructions from legitimate ones without fundamentally changing how LLMs process language. It's almost like social engineering, but targeting the AI system itself.
So for you, the listener, it highlights the need for robust security measures, not just from the AI developers, but also in how you think about and interact with these tools, recognizing they have these vulnerabilities.
Exactly. The overall overarching takeaway from all our sources is that AI is fundamentally a dual-use technology. It has this breathtaking potential for immense good. I mean, revolutionizing fields like medicine and education, but it also carries significant and profound risks if not carefully regulated, managed, and used explicitly for the well-being of humans. This means we absolutely need clear protocols for human oversight, continuous evaluation of AI systems, and a carefully balanced regulatory environment, one that protects our democratic values and ensures informed decision-making in an increasingly AI-driven world.
We've truly taken a deep dive into the dual nature of AI today, from its groundbreaking applications in medicine, offering remarkable efficiencies and access to knowledge, to the very serious threats of widespread misinformation and, frankly, profoundly harmful content it enables. It's clear this isn't just some futuristic concept. It's impacting our world and your world right now.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, the rapid evolution of AI demands constant vigilance and adaptability from all of us. Whether you're a policymaker grappling with new laws, a tech developer building the next generation of these tools, maybe a parent navigating online safety with your kids, or simply someone trying to figure out what's true and what's not in this increasingly complex information landscape.
Yeah.
It affects everyone.
This really raises an important question for you to consider. As AI continues to advance at breakneck speed, how do we as individuals and as a society ensure its incredible power is consistently directed towards improving human lives rather than inadvertently or even intentionally causing harm? What part will you play in shaping that future, ensuring that the promise of AI ultimately outweighs its very real perils?